And just remember, this is a quick, basic makeup application for everyday wear. It's not. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have Taneisha Tea Cooks with Flav with me today, and I am going to teach you guys how to do this simple beat everyday look. So be sure to continue watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. A total beat down that we're doing today. It's not a full glam. It's an everyday natural beat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to get started. First, I'm going to use, this one is Benefit Cosmetics Brow Pencil, and this is in shade 3.75. So, as Taneisha stated in the previous video, she don't really like a dark eyebrow. She likes it lightly done, and plus she has the microblading, so she doesn't really have to do too much to her eyebrow, so we're just going to lightly fill it in. So, I like to use the spoolie, which is this end of the applicator, and just brush the hairs. And then I like to start from the middle and work my way out and filling it in. So you can see what I'm doing.
So you go up with this.
Yeah. To not get that boxy shape, you really don't want to do too much in the front. That's why you gotta kind of brush the hairs up and kind of just blend it in.
With the
start in the middle, so start here and then
okay,
stroke it down. Yeah. And then it looks like you have more hairs on this side and the
oh yes, because my eyebrows are, they're sisters. They're not twins.
Yeah, brows are never twins. They're sisters.
Yes. I learned that from the one little thing I learned from makeup school. The one little thing I learned from makeup school. All right, so I'm gonna go up because I love a good eyebrow. I think your eyebrow makes your
face.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. So people that don't like to groom their brows and want to have like, you know, a makeup application, to me, your eyebrows need to be groomed because you're going to have that precise eyebrow like shape and look.
Kind of like that. Okay.
Because that brow in the front, you don't really have to do too much.
Okay. So we brush the hairs upward. Okay.
So then the next step that I like to do, and this is like an old school, this is what all the MAC girls would do, is use concealer and shape your brows so that you have that more precision. So I'm just going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is their new concealer, the Magic Touch in shade 16. So I'm just going to take some of that and I'm going to use, I don't know what brush this is, but we're going to use a flat brush like this. If you use MAC, you could use a MAC 242 brush, which is, it just has a flat surface so that you can really just arch the brows. So I'm just going to start right here. And basically you're just following the line, the natural arch of the brow.
So this is giving it the definition, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually I use a smaller brush, so we're making do with what we got, what Taneisha got.
Yes. So So now I know I need to get like a, okay.
I like to use a smaller brush to really get in here. But
Okay.
for the sake of using what you got.
All right. I'm gonna put that on my next trip to the store, so I could get the smaller one.
So next I'm just gonna blend it out, and I'm gonna use a blending brush like this. Following that same arch.
A lot of times when I'm rushing and I do this, I get the makeup on the actual brow, and I'm like, oh my god. I could know if a makeup artist is gonna do my eyebrows really good. I mean, my makeup good based on how they do my eyebrows.
So next, we're going to jump into the skincare and the application. So I'm sure Taneisha already has on her moisturizer here. That's the first step of what you want to do. Make sure that you cleanse your face with your cleanser, your moisturizer, your toner, all of that. Do that first, and then because she has combination skin, we're going to use the Fenty Beauty. This one is the soft matte primer. So let's see, what brush are we gonna use? I don't have that flat one.
I could rub it in with my use your
fingers. All right, so I'm just going to pump out, and with the primer you don't need a lot. I just literally have a pea size here.
And the primer does what? The makeup.
The primer is going to help the makeup last longer, and then for this one, it's going to keep her a little bit more matte. So you shouldn't get that shiny with putting on the primer. Okay. So two things that are going to let your makeup last longer is a primer and then a setting spray. Okay. We have two foundations here. So we have the Fenty Beauty. This one is the Pro Filter Soft Matte and 385, and then we also have the Maybelline, the Matte Poreless, and 340. Now, I love to mix foundations. I don't always use one color or one shade, so it's all in your preference. Both of these are still going to give her a matte look, so it doesn't hurt if you want to mix it, or if one is a little bit lighter, the other one is more tan. You can mix your foundations to get your correct match. For Taneisha, I mean, as far as shading and all of that, she has a more yellow undertone, golden undertone, so that's how we knew which foundations to get. So that's something that you'll learn if you book a session. Yay! So I'm gonna go in with the 385 first. I'm gonna just shake it a little bit, just so that I could see the shade by itself. So I like to dab the foundation in. You never want to really rub it. You want to kind of pat it into the skin. So if you're not sure of the shade, you could do a small area. But it looks like it's pretty much matching here, and how you could tell you match with the neckline. Mm-hmm. Now, if she wants to add a little bit more depth and get a little bit more tan in certain areas. Sometimes we tan more on the forehead. You could go in with a darker shade and do that on the forehead. Alright guys, so basically what we have here is a completed base. So Taneisha went ahead and put in her side. We went ahead and we mixed the 340 and the 385. The 340 we use on the outer perimeter, and inside we use the lighter one, which was the 385. We also use this Real Technique blender just to kind of smooth it out afterwards. I don't really like to use this for foundation because sometimes it soaks up the foundation. So I just like to smooth it out afterwards. So now we're going to go in with the concealer, the Anastasia. This one is shade 16.
Which is what I'm afraid of. Every time that she does my makeup, I'm like, don't go too light. Yeah,
so we're going to try it out. And I'm just going to put it right underneath here. And you don't have to use a lot of concealer. She might think I'm overdoing it right now. Yeah, I'll let you apply the other side and then we'll blend it out. It doesn't really like too much. and she don't like it light. So we're about to see if it's to her liking, and if not, we'll adjust.
Okay.
All right, so then now I'm going to use the blender, and I'm going to use a clean side. So she's gonna look up, and I'm going to dab it right. Also go back in with the foundation brush and just kind of dab like around the edges here.
And like if I got it too light, I could just go in and dab. Okay.
Or you could take you can mix it. Don't be afraid to mix. If it's too light, go in with a darker one.
Okay.
And you could put the darker one like on the outer part and kind of just blend it.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's no wrong way of really doing it if you want to adjust. But typically, when you highlight, you use a lighter shade. Poke your eye out.
I need to go along the nose. Go along the...
Yeah. Because when you go along the side of the nose, you're kind of giving yourself a natural contour. Now, if you want to go ahead and give yourself a little nose contour, we'll just put some here. We'll put a little bit here to kind of highlight the face. And then right here on the chin.
And then you
use a blender.
Just dab it in, right?
And then just kind of diffuse the edge part.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And the nose, kind of centered a little. Yeah. And then we'll blend this. Hold on. So here.
I'm not trying to. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
We're just highlighting.
Like smear it, and then you're gonna.
Part right here.
Okay.
And then we'll just blend out the edge.
Okay. So guys, make sure you do this. But don't walk around with a big circle.
You gotta blend it out.
Oh gosh. I've been doing my makeup wrong the entire time. I'm not even gonna tell you guys what I used to do.
So now, for a quick bake, I'm just going to put some of the Huda Beauty. This one is the Easy Bake, and this is the shade Blondie. They have different shades, so of course you're gonna pick the one that suits you best. And just to make sure that there's no creasing, we're going to go back over the concealer again. Because once you set it, it's locked in. And I'm just going to use this Real Technique brush and dab underneath her eyes. And this is going to set it, but also kind of brighten because it's a highlighting powder, setting powder. So you want to dab, and then you could swipe off the excess. Taking that powder in this eye area right here.
Right where we put the highlight.
Right where you put the highlight is where you're going to use the setting powder. Because around the rest of the face, we're going to use a face powder.
We need y'all to stop playing with me because I'm looking good.
So I'm just going to do the other parts that we highlighted, and then I'll let you do the... So next we're going to set the entire face. This one is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation powder. This is a foundation powder, so you could use this by itself because it's still going to give you coverage. I actually like her foundation powders. If you didn't want to use this, you could use a mineralized powder from MAC, which is more of a natural powder. Typically, you don't want to add foundation on top of foundation, but there's no wrong in this. So if you want a little bit of extra coverage, you could use a foundation powder. So I'm going to use a powder brush, and I like to use one that's kind of more dense, like more tight, packed. That way you can really get the powder on there. So I'm just going to dab that and push it into the skin.
So don't like again, wipe it all over your face.
You're not rubbing it, you're pushing it into the skin. And I'm basically doing it on the rest of the face where it's not highlighted.
I really am loving the Fenty Beauty though.
This is like my go-to powder.
Oh man. What have I been doing all my life?
Another powder foundation would be MAC Studio Fix powder. Also, Makeup Forever have their which I do. Okay, so next we're going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the bronzer in Mahogany. Another good bronzer is the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzers. And the one that we wanted to get was Coconati, but it was out of stock. So typically I like to use an angle brush for bronzing or contouring just because it's easier to do. But we're gonna work with what we got. And we're going to use this brush right here. So I'm just going to use the bronzer right here. So typically if you do like a fish face, you'll find that hollow and that's typically where you contour a bronze. Now we're bronzing. Contouring, typically people get it confused where contouring, it creates shadows of the face. So typically when you contour, it's more of like an ashier tone or gray tone because it's creating that shadow. Bronzing, you're trying to warm up the skin or create like a dimension. So usually it'll be more tanner, bronzy, that's bronzing. I like to bronze because I don't really contour, but in the same effect, it kind of gives you like a contour. So, but that's the difference.
So here, just basically go under the cheekbone?
Yeah. Okay. So right here, under the cheekbone, I'm just adding that bronzer.
Is the angle brush like a flat brush? Like a flat,
it's
like, looks like a fishtail?
It's like, not like a fish, like, it'll be like this and kind of just angled.
Oh, okay, okay. I
think I know. Because this one is kind of
fat.
Yeah, I guess let me use this brush because it'll probably be a little softer. So I'm just taking this on the outer parts of her face to give her. So then for blush, we're going to use the Milani Cosmetics. And I actually like their big blushes. This one is Rose d'Oro number 2. That's what it looks like. And she doesn't like too much as a blush. So this is going to give her that shimmer and a little color.
Ooh.
So it kind of gives you like a highlighted look as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you do that.
I like this.
And you can mix it. I mean, if you have a more pigmented blush, I like to use that first and use this kind of like a topper because it's going to give you a little highlight and it's going to give you a little bit of... Now, for the sake of this, we're still going to use a highlighter.
Okay.
And we're going to use Gold Deposit. This one is by MAC. Just to add a little golden to her highlights. And I like to put a little bit on the nose too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to take it too far up like this. You want to keep it more so on like the high plane of your cheek.
Oh, okay. I hate this part.
So this one is LA Girl eyeliner. Typically, if you didn't have on lashes, you would put on mascara, then put on your lashes. So then the last, to finish this off, we're using the Dewy Coconut Setting Mist from e.l.f. This one's a new one. I do like e.l.f. products and they're inexpensive. This one, you know, if you want to have a dewy look, then use a dewy one. Otherwise, there's other setting sprays. You could use a Milani. They have a setting spray that's like comparable to the Urban Decay All-Nighter. So we're just going to spray her. For lips, she's going to use the Fenty. This one is in the Gloss Bomb Fenty Glow. And I'll just let you go ahead and add your gloss.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with the Fenty Beauty lip glosses. Between the Gloss Bomb, the Gloss Cream, the Gloss Bomb Heat, the Plumpers, all of her lip products are amazing. So definitely, if you want a good lip gloss, you can use the Fenty. There's other cheaper versions of glosses that I like. You could use the e.l.f. e.l.f. have good lip plumping glosses. Also like the Maybelline Hyaluronic lip gloss. Those are pretty as well. So yeah, that would be the final touch. Now, if you did want to use a lip liner, you could. There's cheaper ones as well. Juvia's Place, you could use her lip liners, or MAC, Cork, or Chestnut are popular shades to use if you're between our complexion. So, this is our final look.
Wait,
You gotta get closer for them, let them see.
Yes, and I gotta
the everyday look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe and book my services online at slrbeauty.com.
Thank you, Shauna.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, achieved. I feel like I want to get dressed up and just go have drinks. What time is it? Put some curls up in this hair or just sleep like this. Just get up tomorrow, brush my teeth, and then go to work like this.
So again, if you want to book a personal shopping experience, definitely contact me. You could so again, you have the shopping experience, you have the lessons that you could book, personal one-on-ones, or if you have a group of friends that you want to book a little girls' night, sip and learn.
Perfect girls' night.
Yeah. We could do, whatever you want to learn. We could customize the lesson to what your needs are. Same with the personal shopping experience. So
yes.